Drive out to Lubbock and accompany Joe wherever he's going, so he didn't have to drive alone, so we could switch off driving and change a tire, whatever. And told that there was a movie being filmed for AIG, and that they preferred that Mount Blanco, me, Joe, George, Don, they'd rather us not be there. Pretty good friends with the ranch foreman over at the Lacoste site. And we went over there a little early, explained the situation, and they let us stay there for 2 or 3 days. At which point we came back. I assume we were waiting for AIG people to leave, so we'd be welcome on the site.
What did you find had been discovered when the professional team had arrived?
Well, when we arrived, I believe it was either the next day or a day after the homeschoolers had left. And nothing, too big. We talked to the DeRoses. By that time, we were all pretty good friends. Nothing real, huge to report. We knew what we had there. The homeschoolers didn't find anything of note that we know of. Our primary target was the allosaur, based on Joe's assessment. That's what that was, a year or two before.
Because even though you weren't there, they had already removed 12 feet of the allosaur, and it was at Mount Blanco. Isn't that what you understood?
I'm sorry?
The dig that you didn't attend before, hadn't they already removed like 12 feet of the allosaur and taken it to Joe's museum? So that when you got
there... Yes,
the
previous year, I believe they removed I don't remember exactly which bones those were. Yeah, I believe it was September, so almost a year previous.
And they found the tail.
Right, I believe the tail was still there.
But they put plaster.
But yeah, they put a field jacket on to protect it during the winter. They removed the middle portions of it. I don't believe the allosaur had a whole lot of its middle.
No.
I believe it has legs. I think we estimated it was 40% complete when all was said and done. So it was basically a worm, didn't have legs or arms or anything. That had already been eroded. It was my goal, being there, to help out as much as I can, to teach them as much as I knew that Joe had already taught me, and just pass along the knowledge so that we could just do the best work that we could do. And I was really interested in seeing them succeed. So that's why I was there.
And can you tell us about, as you excavated, what did you find when you got there? The homeschoolers, you said they hadn't found anything particular.
They hadn't found anything worth jumping up and down about. There were 2 sites at that site. There was that site is on the side of a hill, like most dinosaur sites are, and there's this particular gully, and it's very steep. And on the primary site where the allosaur was, above that there was like a stegosaurus or a chimaerosaur. I believe they thought it was a stegosaurus, but I think we kind of realized it was probably a chimaerosaur. They're pretty common in that area. Across from that side, about 50 yards, there's another site that's probably another chimaerosaur. Both of these larger animals are in very hard matrix, just like concretions. It's just rock, and it's very hard working through there using air hammers and chisels. You name it, you're doing whatever you can do to get it out. And I believe that's where the homeschoolers spent most of their time, was on that far side, away from the allosaur, on this other animal, and also above the allosaur on that animal above there. So, we went up there. I couldn't tell you how much dirt they had actually moved from above where the allosaur was. It was my understanding that their instructions were to dig in that area, but stop immediately when they hit bone. And I believe that's what they did. When they did stop, I believe what was exposed, or actually a little tiny, penny-sized thing was exposed of some vertebrae. And I believe that could have been lumbar or caudal, I don't remember.
But nobody had any clue what that was?
Nobody had a real clue what that was. At least, I would assume they would have told me, hey, we've got this over here, but that didn't happen. Joe already was counting on finding the skull in that area somewhere, just based on where the animal was. The top part of the animal was much higher than the lower part of the animal. And we had assumed that the process of liquefaction had actually moved the animal, had separated the animal, which is pretty common. So he wasn't completely articulated. There were 2 main bone masses for the particular animal.